cold at night. No food. We less than 200 calories of food a day.
Wow.
Lost 18 pounds in about a week and a half.
Wow.
I mean, it was bugs biting you all the time.
And they didn't give you like special celebrities.
No, they didn't cut a break for me.
They just said you're going out in the woods like everybody else, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah, we did our deal, but I'm glad I did it. It was an adventure, but I don't care about going back again.
I would never, ever have voted him. What the hell were they thinking voting the leader off? Is that the idea of the game?
Well, you know how it is. That's survivor. Some of the top people, they vote off. But no, I stayed about as long as I wanted to stay. It was good. I enjoyed it. No, I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed doing it, but it was really difficult.
More than you ever thought.
It was so much more difficult than I thought. You got no energy. A lot of times you watch that show and you say, well, what were they thinking? I mean, you can't think because you got no energy. I mean, really, you're losing all this weight and you got no food in you, and you're cold, and you got bug bites. And
did you talk to a lot of guys before you did it and try to get?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a coach. You're going to find some scouts, right?
I talked to them, but there's no way that you can ever describe how difficult it is.
Sure.
The biggest thing for me, I dealt with no food. I mean, I was fine with no food. The thing that was tough on me was no sleep. I didn't get any sleep the first night. Very little. It's pouring down rain on you. It's cold. You're soaking wet. You kind of stand around and shiver by the fire just to stay warm. I finally got a little bit of sleep the third night, but getting no sleep is really hard.
It's wild. It's wild. Coach Jimmy Johnson's with us. He's brought to us by Crown Royal, and we'll get to that in a minute. Coach, this Dallas thing, getting down here for the Super Bowl and what it's meant to this community. We've gone to so many Super Bowls. We've been there for Miami and places where it's just one more, and here's another event, and we've done this before. I've really, despite the weather, noticed that the city of Dallas has really just taken to this event, and it's very meaningful.
Yeah, it really is special. I was with Jerry Jones yesterday at the stadium, and for one thing, I think the fans are going to experience something in this Super Bowl that it's so special. I've been to stadiums all over the country, and stadiums are stadiums, but this place is special. I mean, he was kind enough. He brought me down for the opening of the stadium for the George Strait concert, and then came back to the Pacquiao fight. And the artwork, all the different things. I mean, it is really, really a special palace, and the people are going to really be treated, to be in this Super Bowl.
Let's talk some football.
Okay.
Joe Flacco and the fallout on Jim Zorn. Give me your philosophy on a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, and everybody's sort of meshing because the word's kind of gotten out now that if everybody's got a different heartbeat, you can't win like that.
You all have got to be together. And even they had the Vince Young, Jeff Fisher conflict, and that was a concern. Everybody's got to be on the same page. If they're not on the same page, then you're not going to mesh. You're not going to be successful.
Coach, you had one of the great lines of all time.
Fired at me.
They asked you were talking about Jerry. You were talking about your time at the Cowboys, and they said, "Didn't Jerry tell you that he was going to be on the sideline today?" And you said, "Yeah, I just didn't know it was going to be every day." I was okay with it that day, just not every game, right? That was your great line, I thought.
Oh, Jerry's fine.
He said, "Coach, I want to come down to the sideline." You said, "Sure." Don't stay, though.
I just didn't want him talking to my players during the game.
Right.
There's too much made of that all these years later that, I mean, you guys have been friends for life, right? You've known each other since you were kids.
Hey, we were friends back in college. Our wives went to the same sorority. Our kids grew up together. Stephen was in my football camps, and we're friends today. A lot was made out of the breakup, but I was ready to leave. I wanted to live in the Florida Keys. I'd already bought a home down there.
Gee, who'd want to live there?
I had never heard of Isla Mirada until you came along, and then,
I live right on the ocean. I got a couple of boats. I wake up in the morning, I go start the engines, and I'm offshore.
Right, enough of that. We don't want to hear about that.
Scuba diving.
When are we coming down?
Yeah, right. Coach Jimmy Johnson's brought to us by Crown Royal. We really appreciate him taking a few minutes to chat with us. You see him every time on Fox. For those of us that don't get to see the Packers as much, because we don't, we're an AFC town, and we tend to focus on the Ravens and the AFC teams.
Right.
Tell us, and look, they're not a big market. There's not a whole lot of media there, so they don't get maybe the same attention that other teams who are playing the Super Bowl do. You're there at Fox. You're watching 20 NFC games.
Right.
What can you tell us about this Packers team? We know they got a good quarterback. We know they got a good defense. But what will be surprised by about this Packers team?
I think the biggest thing, and Terry Bradshaw and I were on the sidelines at the NFC Championship game. We were just, thoroughly impressed with Aaron Rodgers, how precise he was, how accurate he was, the velocity on the ball. When he is sharp, and with those wide receivers and that spread set, I mean, they can march down that field in a hurry. Now, he got banged up. Peppers hits him, and he got hit a couple of times. He wasn't very sharp the second half. But I think people, if he is playing at the level that he played at most of the year, people are going to really be impressed the way he can throw that football.
Jimmy, why are so many coaches getting out of it and not getting back in it? And is it as simple as, if you can get $3 or $4 million to do TV, why would you just keep doing that instead of coaching? So many guys, the Grudens and the Cowers and Brian Billick, guys that are getting out of it, they're not getting back in.
I don't think people realize how difficult, how demanding professional coaching is. I had dinner with Jack Del Rio Saturday night. He was down in the Keys. I think Belichick comes and fishes with me every off season. College coaching, you got a lifestyle outside of coaching. Pro coaching is a grind, day in, day out. And you don't have a day off. I would go through weeks that my girlfriend and wife now ends up, I would see her in her pajamas every day except one night. We would have one night a week that we could go out and have dinner. That was for 7 months. And then the rest of the year, it's a normal 50-hour week. And so it's really a difficult job.
Coach, tell us what you got going on with Crown Royal this week.
Well, Crown Royal's got safe rides home for people in Dallas. They got marked vehicles to take people home when they're out partying. But I think the biggest message for Crown Royal is throughout the country. When you go out, whether it's a Super Bowl or holidays, or you're just going out having a good time, have a game plan, have a designated driver. Make sure you have a safe and happy Super Bowl.
And I'm afraid there might be some folks in Baltimore drinking heavily this weekend.
Well,
this game goes the wrong way.
Have a game plan, have a designated driver.
You worried about this collective bargaining thing? You've been around long enough. I mean, I think everybody's worried. Anybody that's tied, so many people. I mean, our radio station, our company's tied to it, as well as every bar. People that sell paraphernalia and goods and tailgates and all. This is such a huge business.
Well, you hear that the sport is at an all-time high right now. And I think if we have a work stoppage, we'll lose money in marketing, we'll lose fans. I mean, these two groups need to come together and get this thing resolved.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Really
Surprise! I turned around Jimmy Johnson today.
Two-time Super Bowl.
Can you give us one? How about them Cowboys?
How about some Cowboy?
Good seeing you, Jimmy. Thank you.
Thank you. There you go, the coach, two-time Super Bowl champion, Jimmy Johnson.
That was his line of his life
Really good line.
when they said